Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Tuesday, June 2nd. Yes, as we continue our daily march towards full disclosure. We got a long time to get to my folks, and hey, we got new stuff to talk about today. No one expected a 30 file drop to happen, but it's on the content servers, not published yet, but we got the files. They're going to be getting into it. So before then, let me go ahead and not get ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and welcome in our audience and see who the heck we have out there. All right, we've got Alpha Breeze and Am is out there. Good to see Amiga Rules. We got April and Aussie and Brains. Channel 310 is out there along with Cindy Fieldhaller, Craig Smith, Daily Saging, Donna. Good to see you, Donna. Daryl is here along with Dave C. We got DEFCON, Sky King, Delta Echo. Digger Dog is in the chat along with Doc and Dwayne and Eliza Teal. How about that? We got Elvis Rotten again, row 10. Not Rotten, you're row 10. Fireflies out along with Francis Tremblay. We got Geraldine Durazio, Grateful Benny, Teehee Whoopi is in the chat along with Holy Son. JJ is out there along with Justin Case, Karen Northrup, Kelly Brote, and those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you, Kelly. Light Melinda's out there along with Louie and Lotus and Megan Betts. Good to see Mr. Joey B. Ms. Cuss out and Psychosomatic Attic Insane made it. Good to see all of you guys. Push King is in the chat along with Rainstorm Hunter. We got Rocket Prophet, Sam Scooby Dooby Gooby, Shelly Montgomery, Shrooby Doo, Stabilize, Stargazer, Stephen Forbes, Steve Mateo, Supercharged Land Cruiser. We got V Simon, Wasteland Wonder, We Wiki, Who Farted 420, and Wolf Dog 25. How about that? I made it before. Oh, not that one. There we go. We made it before the time ran out. Wow, what a day. Been looking for different stuff to cover, and we got the usual Tim Burchett popping up in some interviews, and there's some more stuff being covered about a new documentary that just came out today, available for streaming. It's not the big ones, but it's conversations to get out there. But yeah, there was a report that came out earlier today. Apparently, there are 30 records that were dropped, UFO files, definitely, with the National Archives coming out of what was mandated from the, NDAA in 2024. That's where we had to go ahead and bring out all the different UFO files. They should be released. Well, we got 30 more to go through. What happened to my chat? Why did YouTube just freak out? Okay, there we go. Continue. Chat there, is it all on? Is it working? Social stream is working. We've got it. It says it's got two. Give me 1 second to fix this. Oh, there we go. Pop out chat. Go live chat again. Can do it. All right, we got it. Mike, my friend, we lucked out. The files came in at the last moment.
We did. Exactly at the last moment. It was like hitting the lottery because it's been deader than a doornail.
Yeah, it's been getting quieter and quieter and quieter. We're not hearing the usual banter coming out of Eric Burleson or Anna Polina Luna or even Tim Burchett giving us an idea of when we're going to get the next drop. We've got some tweet from someone in Spain saying, well, it's going to be not until the 15th. That doesn't align with anything we've heard. But then again, we haven't been hearing much of anything, Mike.
Oh, no. It's been dead quiet. No one is talking about anything. And these 30 files, that wasn't announced by the government at all. No, we just lucked out and stumbled across them.
I guess you could say we scooped it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is breaking news for today.
Oh, absolutely.
That we're bringing to the audience.
But before we get there, I do have a clip here from Elizabeth Vargas with just a general update on some things for disclosure and just one quick story about the UFO documentary that came out. It's going to be one of the only videos we've got tonight, so I want to get that out of the way sooner than later because I'm going to be reading a lot today, whether I like it or not. So let's go to this and go. Thomas, let's get this arranged. Coming to us from my cable TV tuner to the show from News Nation. Let's go ahead and play this pause DVR. Here we go.
This time next week, UFO whistleblower David Grush will be joined by a bipartisan group of lawmakers on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. for what could be a pivotal step in the push for transparency around UFOs. Grush plans to discuss specific UFO evidence that he encountered during his time as an intelligence officer and why these records should be publicly released now. This comes as momentum for UFO disclosure is reaching a fever pitch. In the last month, the Trump administration has released 2 batches of UFO files. The files include videos and documents that prove the government has been tracking UFOs for decades. In a follow-up to his award-winning documentary in 2023, director and producer Ron James's new film, Accidental Truth, Next Beyond UFO Disclosure, poses a provocative question and a bold theory. What if UFO disclosure is being carefully managed? And what if disclosure is only the start?
The DoD and the intelligence community is very comfortable saying it's unknown.
What are we actually talking about?
I can't share with you the details, ma'am.
There are those who will stop at nothing to hide the truth.
Whistleblowers are safe. I will guarantee that.
I have no job. My career has been tarnished.
People have been killed.
Accidental Truth Next hits streamers today and is available on Apple TV, YouTube TV, and Amazon Prime. Director and producer Ron James joins us now. Congrats on the new documentary. So you interviewed a variety of newsmakers, from whistleblowers like Lou Elizondo to lawmakers who've long pushed for disclosure. You said that the deeper you went into that world, the more you came to believe that the political process was in many ways a dead end. What do you mean?
Well, I think that this thing's been sequestered by government and private industry for years, and that we are not going to get the entire truth and the knowledge of this from a political process of disclosure.
Meaning
It's
not
going to be
from
part of the
Congress,
truth.
not from these hearings, not from the government releasing files?
From all of it, not from anything actually coming officially from government through this process or through announcements that come from the White House or anything else. They're never going to tell us the entire truth of everything that they know about this phenomenon.
Why not?
Well, there's just too much accountability, and there's too many things that blend into the power structure on the planet, religious philosophies and teachings, societal norms, that it's just too disruptive. And there's too many things that they've done over the past to cover it up that they can't tell us.
Is it also a national security issue? China and Russia might be reverse engineering UFO crash, wreckage.
That's a big part of it. The fact that a lot of this stuff has gone into private industry and resulted in technologies that we're using today and technologies we don't want anyone to know we have is also a big part of the secrecy.
Yeah, the big part of the secrecy is that this is in private industry. There are some high-ranking members of our own government who may not actually know what's going on in these very top secret defense contractors.
There are multiple layers of the secrecy, and many, many people in front-facing government do not know and will never know. The people that have the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, are people that we will never see on television and will never come forward and tell us who they are.
You say humanity may not be asking the right questions about UFOs. What are the right questions?
Yeah, this new film is literally 2 movies. The first part is about the inside track on disclosure. We share stories inside Washington, D.C. that people won't see anywhere else. But the second half of the film is about what happens once we have this knowledge. We've got to start looking at AI. We've got to start looking at the nature of reality. We've got to start re-examining esoteric beliefs and spiritual teachings. This is the beginning, not the end, of a huge revolution for humanity.
Wow. Okay, if that isn't a tease, I don't know what is. And next week, of course, David Grush will be on the steps of the U.S. Capitol, promising to reveal all. We shall see.
You'll find something on the inside of this film about David Grush, the inside story of how Ross Coulthart and Ralph Blumenthal broke the story. It's amazing, and Ross was kind enough to chip in on the film. So
well, that was right here on News Nation. So we were the people to air it. I interviewed him right here on this show. So David Grush is no stranger. Ron James, thank you so much. Accidental Truth Next is out now. Check your streaming platforms. Thanks, Ron. All right, we'll be right back in a moment with Chris Cuomo.
All right, there you go. Let me go ahead and pause this just in case something else does pop up. We want to go ahead and cover this in a bit. Mike, where am I at here? No, we got that one. Interview guest, we got it. Okay, so this gets us down into getting to the details of these documents. Yeah, there's a bunch of them here. So to bring everybody up to speed, there was a tweet out late this afternoon, or a message over on X. Let me go ahead and bring this up to get this thing started and have some fun with it. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get this so we know exactly the width I'm going to be dealing with. Okay, so top of the document is where all the details comes in and what we're dealing with. So Air Force UAP records added to the National Archives. So 30 records are in the process of being added to the UAP records collection of the National Archives. These have only appeared on the server and not pushed to the website at this time. So they're staged to go ahead and go to production when they're going to do that push. When that's going to happen, we don't know. When they do publish, they should show up in a series of pages here. These records match the results of his previous FOIA. I'll have more on this later. So we've got a bunch of documents, I guess, that were requested under FOIA. And it looks like a lot of historical documents and everything going back in time. But sure enough, there's a lot of information in here. Now, if I can just get to the one document that I just processed, where I have all the notes up for me, will make it a little bit easier. Let's get to it. Hold on. Yeah, it's old documents in beautiful form. Okay, we've got that. We've got that. Move that to the side a little bit so I can still deal with it. All right, so page 45. 44, 45. All right, so we're going to start off in this document that was titled The 72nd Strategic Reconnaissance Wing History from April of 1953. Okay, so we are now in Chapter 3, the Tactical Operations and Training. Let me get to this, and I need to go to Tools, Selection, and it's not going to let me select text for whatever reason. That's fine. All right, so number 3, the main narrative. This is Chapter 3 for Operations and Technical Training continued. It notes on that April 8th, where is it going to be in here? Observed and identified objects variously described as a bright star, bright ball of fire at a great height. 2 RB-36 of this wing were in the vicinity at the time, and that object was sighted, flying at altitudes of 12,000 and 21,000 feet. It is known that casual observers are often prone to exaggerate, forget details, or otherwise muddle the story. This is illustrated in a statement made by one of the persons sighting the object, from Captain Van F. Dittenberner. U.S. Army Infantry S-2 stated that a B-36 airplane was visible and easily identified, although cruising at an altitude that I would estimate to be between 40 and 50,000 feet. At that time, I saw the RB-36 there, 2 in the area, but none at an altitude higher than 21,000 feet. The crew of Captain John F. Wise of the 37D Stratcom Squadron was chosen as Crew of the Month for April. They were chosen on their record of superior utilization of assigned flying time, quality in photography, and demonstrated knowledge of safe flight procedures. On April 3rd, they flew a reconnaissance mission with a time utilization of 155%. The photography was 90% acceptable. It included 4 visual IP to target runs, 4 simulated photo flash, 38 side obliques, and 2 special project mosaic lines on Puerto Rico. And on the next one we're going to get into. So the next one is coming. I can find it, is the exhibit list between pages 35 and 40. That's on page 93. Let me get down to the next one. Exhibit list, page 93. References on pages 35 through 40. Statements of flying saucer witnesses. Not bad. So if we now go to page 239. Yeah, there's a lot of pages here, folks. So this one has over 600 pages. Get the page 230, 29, 41, 239. Exhibit references pages. Okay, Air Intelligence. Is that Exhibit 35? Air Intelligence Information Report, 17th April, subject unidentified flying object. If we go forward to page 241, a little bit dark here, but to read, this is the official Air Force Form 112 for Air Intelligence Information Report that's dated April 8th, 1953, details the the sighting from Fort Buchanan of San Juan, Puerto Rico, multiple witnesses, military plus civilians. So let's get into it. 11:30 on April 8th, 1953, several persons stationed at Fort Buchanan, San Juan, Puerto Rico, observed an unidentified flying object, variously described as a bright star, a bright ball of fire at a great height. Attached here too are the statements of the various witnesses to the sighting. An investigation at Rami revealed that 2 RB-36 aircraft were in the air at the time of this sighting. The RB-36 were flying at altitudes of 12,000 and 21,000 feet, coming from Bradford S. Schumann, who was a major of USAF. Then if I go to next to page, we're on 241. If we get to page 259, making me work for it, I tell you. 58, 59. All right, not even looking where I'm at. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, this is a bit, and I can't. Okay, this is just a bad crop. Oh, they did such a good job. So on page 259, where is that at? This is a detailed statement by Captain F. Dittenberger from the S-2 Fort Buchanan. He explicitly uses the term flying saucer when described being called outside to observe it, gives a careful analysis, and rules out conventional explanations. So at about 11:30 hours on April 8th of 1953, I was called from my office in post by Captain Fraticelli, post-medical service officer, to come observe a flying saucer. Captain Fraticelli was walking toward the post from the post dispensary, and I left the building accompanied by something mobile, a SST-S3, and Major Sergeant Alejandro Bermudez, Operations Sergeant Milan, and S2 Secretary, and several other people from the post head department. Fraticelli pointed out to the sky in an easterly direction, and a white object was moving across the sky from north to southwards. North to south, someone noted that the sky was extremely blue with a few whiffs lifting in a south to north direction with the prevailing winds. It was extremely bright, so I put on a pair of dark glasses. A B-36 was visible and easily identified, although cruising at an altitude estimate of between 40 and 50,000 feet. The sound of the B-36 could be plainly heard. Captain Fraticelli then oriented me in a different sky, and then I observed what appeared to be a star moving in something through the clear blue sky from north to south. This object seemed to be at much greater altitude than the B-36 and was traveling at a high rate of speed. From time to time, the object would disappear behind clouds, but would always reappear traveling at about the same rate of something, the same size and order of the other clouds. I observed the object for about 10 minutes and then looked elsewhere. When I later attempted to find the object again, I was unable to see it, although other personnel had consistently observed the object and claimed that it was still there, although growing smaller rapidly. Impressions for this object are as follows. It was much higher than the aircraft in the air at that time. It was traveling much faster than the aircraft. It must have been an object of great size in order to have a size at that altitude. The object was visible in spite of its proximity to almost blinding light. Because of its nearness to the sun, the object should have appeared dark on the side toward the Earth. Yet my impressions was that it was a brilliant light. It wasn't. It was a brilliant light or reflecting extremely brilliant light. I do not believe this object would have been a star, for in order for that to be able to, that time of day, that position in the sky, it would have been much brighter than any known star, more like a supernova going on. I don't have a definite impression as to the shape of the object, although it did appear to be round, but it was my impression that the object strained some strange shape at any time while I was trying to observe it, coming from, again, Captain Van F. Ditterburner. Interesting document, Mike. We're getting reports now in all these different documents right now that are pointing towards the Air Force knew about what's been going on for all these years, and they've just been covering it up.
Oh, over 80 years and counting.
Yeah.
But every time they were asked a direct question, they immediately said they're not aware of anything and there's no proof to support any of the claims of UFOs.
And there's no records responsive to your request to find everything.
Correct. So now with this release, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They got caught lying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's another one. I want to try and find out some of the good stuff up front that I found. Alaskan. Oh, this is the entire doc. All right. This is a deep read. It's like the entire document. Talk about UFOs in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Ain't I lucky?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's have fun with it. I'll have fun with it. We always do. All right. Yeah. So, let me get my magic thing out here to bring it. Am I going to get it where you guys can see everything at that size? No. So I have to go shrinking one time, a little bit larger. Do it. Shrink it. No, it won't shrink it. All right. Give me 1 second here. I just want to, where is this at? I want to find. There we go. There we go. I want to open this up a little bit to this size. Actually, what I want to do is shrink that bastard down a little bit so everything fits on screen at a larger size. All right. I got it fixed. Let's get into it. So what are we looking at here today? This is, oh, great. This is coming from the Department of the Air Force, Air Force Declassification Office. This is coming from May 21st, 2025, that it was declassified in full. Nice to see that they've been sitting on it for so long. Let's now get to this document. Go too much again? Yeah, a little bit. That's about where it's going to have to be. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, unidentified flying objects. This was from Washington in July 20th, 1962, Mike. So we're well beyond Roswell by almost 67.
Yeah,
by almost 20 years, by 15 years.
Right.
So this regulation establishes the UFO program to investigate and analyze UFOs over the United States. Such investigations and analysis are directly related to the Air Force's responsibility for the defense of the United States. The UFO program provides for the prompt reporting and rapid identification needed for a successful identification, which is the second of the 4 phases of air defense, which is detection, identification, interception, and destruction. All commanders will comply strictly with this regulation. We got a table of contents of what we have ahead of us, so let's just get into the start of it. Explanation of terms. To ensure proper uniform usage in the UFO screenings, investigations, and reportings, all explanations of the objects, an explanation of the objects as follows. A, familiar known objects, aircrafts, balloons, kites, birds, searchlights, astronomical bodies, pointless aircraft, missiles, satellites in orbit, and others identified by the observer as a normal appearing object. So we want to rule it out. 2, flying objects that determined to be the aircraft. These generally appear as a result of ADA's violations and often prompt the UFO reports submitted by the general public. They are readily available and known to be aircraft, but their type, purpose, and origin and destination are unknown. Air Defense Command is responsible for reports of unknown aircraft, which should not be reported under UFOs under this regulation. You know, Mike, just getting into it, you know what this sounds like right now? This sounds like, how do you deny? It's not about reporting. this gets into the science of how do we do a Sean Kirkpatrick and deny and not, come up with other reasons besides the damn truth.
They had a goddamn program back in the early 60s, 1962, right?
Yeah.
But there's a date of July 23rd, 1985 stamped on the bottom of this page on the screen.
Yeah, that's another date from 85, but this initial document was from July 20th. 1962 is when the document is. For some reason, someone else has a stamp on the bottom of July 23rd, 1985. Yes.
Maybe that's when they declassified it.
No, this wasn't declassified until recently.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
It goes to show that the Air Force was well aware of these objects and had a program in place running the whole time.
Right.
So this is like them getting caught with their pants down. These documents. There's no explanation for it. Yeah.
Well, you better believe it is, my. Figure out which one is this day here. Air Force regulation. I just want to make sure I mark these. Something we've been through as I go through it. All right, let's get into the next part. The next thing they're going to call it, what people are seeing: aircraft flares, jet exhaust, condensation trails, blinking or steady lights observed at night, lights circling or near airports and at airways. Man, they're coming up with every potential excuse of what it could be versus what it probably is. Next, unidentified flying objects. Any aerial phenomena, airborne objects, or objects which are unknown or appear out of the ordinary to the observer because of performance, aerodynamic characteristics, or unusual features. The objectives, the Air Force interest in UFOs is threefold. First is a possible threat to the national security of the United States and its forces. Second, to determine the technical scientific characteristics of any such UFOs. Third, to explain or identify all UFO sightings as described above. A. Air defense. The great majority of flying objects reported have been conventional, familiar things of no great threat to the security of the United States and its possessions. However, since the possibility exists that UFOs reported may be hostile or new foreign air vehicles of unconventional design, it's imperative to report sightings rapidly, factually, and completely as possible. So they are taking it a bit serious here. Technical and scientific. The Air Force will continue to collect and analyze reports of UFOs until all are scientifically or technically explained or until the full potential of the sighting has been exploited. In performing the task, the following factors are of great importance. 1. To measure the scientific advances, the Air Force must have the latest experimental and developmental information on new, unique air vehicles or weapons, meaning we need to know what's out there. What are you guys building? What are you testing? Because otherwise we may be reporting something that's not, a UFO. 2, the possibility exists that foreign countries may develop air vehicles of revolutionary configuration or propulsion, which, Mike, to this day, I don't think that's happened yet.
No. Not yet. If it did, a lot of the geopolitical conflicts that are still ongoing around the world would have been solved almost instantly, and they haven't been.
3, there is a need for further scientific knowledge, such as field of geophysics, astronomy, and physics of the upper atmosphere, which the study and analysis of UFOs and similar aerial phenomena may provide. Number 4, the reporting of all pertinent factors will have a direct bearing on the scientific analysis and conclusions of UFO sightings. Now, as we get into this little note here, reductions of percentage of UFO unidentifieds. Air Force activities must reduce the percentage of unidentifieds to the minimum. Analysis thus far has explained all but a few of the sightings reported. These unexplained sightings are carried statistically as unidentifieds. If more immediate, detailed, objective data on the unknowns had been available, probably these too could have been explained. However, because of the human factors involved and the fact that the analysis of UFO sightings depends primarily on the person's impressions and interpretations of the observers rather than on accurate scientific data or facts obtained under controlled conditions, the elimination of all identifieds is improbable. Mike, right here, they're talking about they want to eliminate as many as they can, and they want to report as few as possible. It almost sounds like it's a mission to cover stuff up versus going just to whatever the numbers come out at. You bring out the truth.
Right. But it sounds that's exactly what Arrow has been doing since they began.
Yeah.
And the Air Force has been onto this for a very long time, it seems like.
Heck yeah. Daryl, your hand is up.
Yeah, some people I think came in late, and I just wonder if you wouldn't just let them know what you're reading, what you're reading here.
All right, really quick, folks, just doing a quick recap here. There was a, to see if I can find this. Where is this at? All right. Okay, so just recapping for those who have joined late, the Air Force UAP records were added to the National Archives. Now, these 30 records are being added to the UAP records collection at the National Archives. These have only appeared on the server and have not been pushed to the website at this time, which means they've been staged for production. The documents are there, but they're not available unless you know the direct link how to get to these particular files. When they do publish, they should show on a series of pages. Here, we got the link for it. These records match the results of my previous FOIA. So good to see that he has actually FOIA'd for these, and now they're actually moving it to bring it out. But that does bring a good question, Daryl, since he asked me to bring this up. If the Air Force is supposed to release all these documents in accordance with the fiscal year 2024 NDAA, which is almost a couple years old at this point, why does it take someone's doing a FOIA request to get the Air Force to release the documents that they should have released without even being asked? Is it maybe they're not looking?
This is what I've been saying for like weeks now, is that the Air Force has been really quiet. So this is kind of like a big deal, in my opinion, because it's essentially, you know, I assume what you're uncovering here is that they are saying that there are UAP.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a far cry from when they held a press briefing in the White House briefing room to tell everybody that Roswell was never happened. There are no aliens. Other U.S. AF bases, I can't remember where they're at, but they'll have like these little aliens in the background, and it's a joke.
Oh, you're talking about Eglin Air Force Base down in Florida.
Well, they probably do it too. There's been a few I've seen it. It's just, you know, it's a joke to them. It's like they try to dismiss it. I mean, they're part of the cover-up big time. So this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. So let's get back into this. No, this one's here. I guess I need to do a recap again. And yes, there's about 30 documents. We'll have time to go through some of them tonight, but there's a lot of detailed information in here on that note. Let's go ahead and get back to where we were just at. Hopefully I can remember where I was just at. All right. Okay, we talked about the reduction. They want to have people go ahead and report as small as possible. Now they're saying AU supplies number one to this paragraph. There may be something in the supplemental. We can get to that they're talking about. Now, reporting. Base commanders will report all information, evidence of UFO sightings, including information and evidence received from other services such as government agencies and civilian sources. Investigators are authorized to make telephone calls from the investigation area direct to the Foreign Technology Division. All of the Air Force Systems Command, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio. Gee, Wright-Patterson, go figure why they would want to have that. Edwin, sorry I missed you. Had your hand up, my friend.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah. I'm most skeptical about anything from the Air Force. That's all I want to say.
That's fine. You can be. They've been covering this up forever, so I can understand your skepticism.
But at least there admit some of them are UAPs. But I think we're at the point
some
now.
Some of them are UFOs. Yes, that is true.
Yeah. I think we're at the point now where we don't need any more astronomers and scientific people to start analyzing reports. They just need to release what they have. That's my comment.
Well, they have to release what they have, and more importantly, we need all the facts. We need all the redactions. All the stuff should be there. There's a bunch of stuff we need that we're not getting, unfortunately. So let's move on. Thanks, Edwin. I appreciate that.
Sorry, Thomas, you got a breaking UFO super chat.
Yeah, I did. There is a story of stuff going down in Brazil today. It's the Marik Leo case in Brazil. The guy got some weird UFO footage in the news here. Yes, I saw that. All right. A second here.
Well, I had Flavio send you a link to that video in your email.
Trust me, I've got all that stuff bookmarked at this point. I'm there on top of it, but it's just kind of the video that I've seen on this. Let me get to Brave. Let me find out where that browser is. Here we go. Let me bring up a new X. Let me go to my bookmarks. So I'm trying to find, this is something that he had seen off in the distance. Let me see if I can find the part where he actually looks out and sees it at night. Zoom out a bit, bring it up a little bit more. Let's see if I can find the object. Okay, so from where he is, there's a light he's seeing out on the hill in the distance. And watching it, there are little lights that are flashing around it, but it's not like we've got something that's in the air or it's moving in the air. There's been claims that he was contacted today by the intelligence agencies of Brazil where this happened. However, the letterhead and everything that they have is really old, and the overall image of that particular document that was sent to him to go ahead and meet with him is really, really blurry, Mike. So it's just a bit suspect at this point in time.
Well, you know what? It's very possible that this is not what it appears to be.
Right. Now we've got another one of those videos, person driving in the car, and it goes on for a few seconds, and then it cuts. It shows us where it's at, but anytime you've got something that's a UFO that's flying off in the distance, anytime you've got like a 15-second clip, and then it cuts from there, it just makes you leave wanting more information. Yep. For everybody. Let me see what else I've got here from there. Let me get it out of here. Let me get back to my bookmarks, and I think I've got... Oh, what a dumpster fire in the UK today. All right, is this the other one? No, that's not it. Disclosure Day. All right, this is another video of an object that's going on in that area. Actually, that's not. That's something else that happened in Italy. Let's get to the next one. This is in... filmed over Barra da Prata River in South Katrina. This was from 5/27/2026 around 8 p.m. Not sure if it's the same object or not, but we've got something with direct lights going across, and you've got like a series of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disclosure dots. It looks like it's over a river, but the overall object itself that's there is kind of hanging in place. It's not like it's moving or doing anything, at least at this point, that would kind of call it out as a potential UFO other than there being some lights in the area. According to him, the images were recorded from atop of Marquette Bridge over the Barra da Prata River near the indigenous area on the border of Jose Oitox and the Santa Catarina, Brazil. All the videos also report some manifestations of this kind in the region. So this is an interesting video that I was hoping to see. This is actually going to show where the original video was recorded. Where the original video was recorded, and they're going to do the Google Maps take and show you where they're looking out in the distance. Is this the one where they're showing out in the distance? No, this is something they found on Google Earth. That's not the one I was looking for, damn it. All right, there's another one I have. Again, this is just an influencer out of Brazil. There is another clip of the object. This one you can see there is a number of lights, but there's actually not just lights. There's actually structure you can see. And apparently that may be where, like, there's actually a house up there. So, trying to find if there's anything else that I bookmarked on this. If I go back to X, I do a quick search on it. Saw that video. We've got that one. We've got that one showing the object at a distance.
Gente, eu acho que eu acabei de deixar a resposta do som. Olha isso ali em cima.
This is the one. Here we go. So this one is going to actually triangulate. Oh, you bugger. Where'd you go? This one's going to triangulate and kind of show you where was he recording from. Here's the location it was recording from. Damn it. When I go to zoom in, it just pops up. Sorry about this, folks. I'm just trying to get it so we can actually see this and go through it every time. Okay. I'm not going to screw with it anymore, I promise. We see where the guy's house is. Where he was at when he was recording. Now, they're going to go ahead and look off into the distance, which is always very helpful, to look and try and show where this particular object was that they were seeing. And he's going off towards the mountains in that area, and he's going to tilt it a bit more, and he's going out, and eventually he's going to get to the spot, and he'll tilt it down. That what we're kind of looking at is at a big hill off in the distance near where's it called? Morante di Serra is kind of where we're seeing this. So it's going through. There we go. He was just actually going ahead and showing. Let me get back to here. These are Google image photos that people can go ahead and share, and they put on a map, particularly what's out there. And it doesn't look like there is a lot of stuff in that area, although as we get into it a little bit more, he's going to show, I believe there are, there's actually houses out there for sale at this point. So it's not like it's an uninhabited portion on the mountain. It's early and it's hard to tell. We got blurry videos at a distance. Mike, your thoughts? Or Daryl, for that matter.
No, you're right. It looks to me, from what we could see of the outer edge, I feel it was like a house that was lit up.
Right.
It did, yeah. It wasn't moving. It was stationary. So, and if it's a residential area at that location, it probably is a prosaic answer. It wouldn't. Right. It makes the most amount of sense to me.
But it really does show how interested the community is, especially in Brazil. You get someone who has a sighting of a UFO, puts a video out there, the press reacts, and everybody wants to go see what's going on.
Right, but we also know South America has been a bit of a hot spot with UFOs for decades now. It's nothing new.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the scoop on the Brazilian UFO. Nothing major yet. They haven't gone out there to look at the site to see is there any kind of residual radiation, or are there things going on? What I mean? So it's just a matter of, it's a lot of speculation right now, and it's coming from a TikTok influencer who thought he saw something. But the thing is, if you think you see something, the best thing you can do is say what you saw and let it go from there.
Right.
Although
which he's doing, and
we saw objects that looked like that in the distance.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
All right.
Yeah, you're right.
Back to the documents. Okay. They were at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for the purpose of to report high priority findings. So even back in early 60s, Wright-Patterson, Mike, was the location where important sightings of UFOs needed to go to. Sorry, George, you had your hand up. I forgot to call on you. Go ahead.
Good evening, Thomas, Mike, Darryl, everyone in back chat. Yeah, I've got a question which I don't know if it's relevant or not, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How can we trust anything coming out of the administration, considering the hard trolling over aliens.gov?
Oh, get over it.
get over the hard trolling.
Get over it. It wasn't it was a kind of a trolling. It's something that Trump did when we saw that UFOs, if we were looking at war.gov/UFOs, if they said that's where all the information is going to go to.
My faith is breaking a little bit with the information coming from the administration of the U.S.
That's
administration.
fine. I have no faith in Keir Starmer's regime right now at this point either. So it's kind of like I think we're getting more out of the Trump administration. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to report on it.
I want to see it, but it's like after the aliens.gov debacle, it seems
wasn't a debacle. They put it out there as a joke, and they had some stuff going along with it.
So it's a joke.
Well, it's a site, the information, the facts they're putting out there about the number of people that they're getting out of the country that your people would actually absolutely love if they did that in the United Kingdom right now, to get all these migrants who are economic migrants coming in versus having people who are truly in harm's way.
I understand the bread and butter, I do, but like literally, like everything that's coming out at the moment, can we really take seriously if they are hard trolling us with aliens?
It's up to you. Everybody has the right to see it, and if you feel like you're trolled and you don't want to believe anything that's going on, then I'd say for your podcast that you do, stop reporting on it, move on to something else, and see where disclosure.
I find it interesting. I find it fascinating.
If disclosure can then come from Congress, which Congress has been inept to bring anything out. We've had more UAP records come out from this president than we've had from any other president prior in the history of the United States. So if one little website is going to get out there and ruffle your feathers along with David Smethurst and other people from the United Kingdom because they hate Trump anyway, throw your hate someplace else.
I'm not hating on Trump. I'm not hating on Republicans or Democrats. I'm just saying the administration generally.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Is like
here's the thing.
Like I think Mike would agree with me that
really quick,
the administration has lied to us for a long time.
Aliens.gov, you assumed that it meant for aliens, like a lot of people did,
assumption
right?
is the mother of all.
You assumed. So when you assume, you have the opportunity to make an ass out of yourselves and everybody else that you talk to about it. So you just have to take it with a grain of salt, look at it for the bigger picture. But again, if you're not happy with Trump and everything that's going on, then don't cover it on your podcast. I think it's a great thing that's being brought forward. I think there's a lot of information.
All I'm trying to get at is the facts.
Like,
all I'm trying to get at is the facts between what is fiction, what is made up, and what is obviously fake. Okay, I think that's what you're doing as well on your podcast as well, to be fair, Thomas, right? And you're presenting the information for people to make up their own assumptions. Yeah. So, but I just wanted, like, the question was, can we trust anything coming out of the administration?
Yeah, of course. But if you want to take this one little piece and make it so you don't want to trust it, that's your opportunity not to trust or report on it. But if you do, then go ahead and report on it. Then, if you look at the last videos that we got, the 46 videos, do you trust in those records that came out?
I think there's so much redaction, so much cover up. I think there's so much things that have been released before that we talk about the drip and we talk about the smoking gun, but I don't really think that we've had any of that. And folk who are in the community who are watching this situation would look at like this information that's coming forwards and going, what is this? But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to bow out. I thank you for letting me have a question there. But yeah, I think you answered it very well.
Here we go. I got something from the UK today.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
You got riots in the United Kingdom. Civil unrest because you had the coppers who took a guy who was stabbed 4 times by a Sikh, and he went and he claimed the racist card, which ended up in a poor man dying a horrible death that he shouldn't have had to. And everyone in your country is very upset, and they're rioting and they're pushing back against your authoritarian government that you have in place and the 2-tier policing and everything that's happening. You could say that we've got, although look at this kind of stuff is going on here, we still going back to UFOs. We've gotten more things on Trump, out of Trump than we've gotten from any other president. But if you don't like that one little thing with aliens.gov.
That's true. But I think also we should be worried about ICE as well if you talk about 2-tier policing.
Oh. Okay. Thank you, George.
All right, take it easy, man.
ICE is not a two-tier policing, my God. Let's move on to this. Mike, are you there?
Oh, yeah, I haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So moving on back to the document.
Yeah. All right, getting back to the document. Investigation. The commander of the Air Force base nearest the location of the reported UFO sighting will conduct all investigative action necessary to submit a complete initial report of a UFO sighting. The initial investigation will include every effort to resolve the sighting. An Air Force base other than the closest to the scene of a reported UFO sighting will refer the nearest Air Force base for an appropriate action analysis. The Air Force Systems Command Foreign Technology Division will analyze and evaluate information and evidence reported within the United States after the investigators of the responsible Air Force base nearest the sighting have exhausted the efforts to identify the UFO. 2, information evidence collected in overseas areas. Exception: the AFSC or FTD, independently or in participation with the pertinent Air Force activities, may conduct any additional investigations necessary to further or conclude its analysis or findings. What are the findings? The AFSC will prepare a final report on each sighting after a collection analysis of data and will forward a copy of the report to HQ of USAF. Public Relations and Information Services, the Office of Information, Office of the Secretary of the Air Force will be responsible for releasing information on all sightings and in coordination with the AFSC answering correspondence from the public regarding UFOs. Congressional inquiries, the Office of Legislative Liaison will coordinate with the AFSC and the Office of Information when necessary. All answers in congressional mail regarding UFOs addressed to the Secretary of the Air Force and headquarters of the USAF. So, Mike, what we've got here is we've got a deep program to go ahead, collect the information, if you want to call it, prevent the dissemination of information out of the government unless it's from one source. Make sure that all information that be given out to Congress or to legislators all goes through one individual person. So it's kind of like they've got a funnel and they're bringing it all together, Mike.
Yeah, from over 60 years ago, and it doesn't seem like really much has changed from then to now. Yeah. It's still going on. They haven't changed or improved that system. The exact same thing is going on today as it was back then. And that's the problem with the Air Force that we're having.
And what we've got is literally 10 pages of well-written text going over everything, every detail, which we can get into actually some reports. How about that?
Thomas, there's only 1 million more documents to go, so you're getting a head start.
Yeah. And sorry if I got a little flustered when I hear friends in the UK coming and complaining about Trump and saying we can't trust anything coming from the administration, and we've had more disclosure going on about this. That's that's anybody's right to do it. But if you're coming into this as someone who doesn't like Trump from another country and you want to come in and bash the disclosure we're getting from our president, which, you know what, there are like 143 countries in the world right now, which we could get any of those countries to go ahead and open up and give us information. But the only one we're getting right now is from the USA. Edwin, your hand is up.
Yeah, I don't want to change the subject. Well, a couple pieces of news that I was going to mention, and I don't know if you guys are already aware of this, but and I know you're not a big fan of Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp.
Who said we're not? I'm not a fan of Jeremy Corbell.
Well, maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't been listening that long. Anyway, so Jim McCaskey was on Coast to Coast with George Knapp a couple weekends ago.
Right. We've got.
And he mentioned there's two things that were kind of news on there, and if you already know about it, then I'm not sure. But what Jeremy Corbell mentioned on there is a lot of the videos that he has in possession of, he said they're actually recordings of a screen, like the videos he have were recorded off a screen in a skiff. So what does that mean? Does that mean somebody
you cannot record off screens in a skiff?
Well, that's what he said anyway.
Well, that's what he said. However, in a skiff, they purposefully take away any and all of your digital recording equipment. So if he's saying this was recorded in a skiff, then we're hearing, I don't have it here. We're hearing a bullshit artist.
Well, perhaps he recorded it. Perhaps I might have misunderstood him. If you go back and listen, perhaps it was recorded off a screen, but not in a skiff, somebody else's computer or something. I don't know. But that's why the large blob UFO that was seen darting in and out of the clouds, the one that he released, was so blurry. And
of course, it's a recording of a recording, meaning there's a screen where it's playing back. He brings out his iPhone, he sets it towards it, and he records it. So you're getting a recording that's already compressed, and then you've got a camera that's recording it at a different frame rate from the original, which makes it a problem. And yes, all of the videos that Jeremy Corbell had, they may have been shown in a skiff, but they weren't recorded in a skiff. And when they did record it, yes, they recorded a screen being recorded from an iPhone.
Well, that's what he said anyway. The other piece of news on there was included in McCaskey's new book. McCaskey and the Dopser approved it.
Yeah.
That apparently, according to McCaskey's book, he has in possession of documents that mention a group of friendly aliens that are helping the United States, and that was approved through Dopser, and it's included in his book. I just thought those two things.
When something is approved by Dopser, they don't flag something. If they don't flag it, it doesn't mean it's true.
I understand that.
Let me finish.
I understand that. I know how to disseminate disinformation.
I know, but if there's something in a Dopser that is false information, but doesn't get into the area of national security, they're going to say, oh yeah, go ahead and put it out. But if there's something for national security that's in that document, right? They're going to go ahead and flag it and say you can't get there. So even though things have been...
I understand that. I'm just mentioning those two things that were mentioned on Coast to Coast. So it's in his book, whether it's disinformation or not, I have no idea.
I know, I'm just trying to rebuttal to you, but you keep on steamrolling over me, so I can't really respond to it. So thanks for the information, Edwin. That's great. Excellent. Daryl, you there?
Next.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Does Lukatsky have another new book? He just came out with a book.
Yeah, he just came up with a new book about a month and a half ago. Yeah.
Or half a year ago, yeah. Okay.
All right. Anything else here we need to cover? Maintaining public relations. We got that. Releasing information. All right. The office, they've got it flagged here. Let's just take what it says. The Office of Information, Office of the Secretary of the Air Force will release to the public or unofficial persons or organizations or informations or releases concerning UFOs, regardless of their origin of nature. This includes replies to correspondence, except the congressional inquiries submitted directly to the AF Air Force and other Air Force activities by private individuals requesting comments and results of analysis and investigations of sightings. It's a lot of long legal speak to go ahead and say we're going to cover as much as we can. We're going to go ahead and deny as much information as we can. We're going to try and call out as many things as prosaic because we want to make sure that we're going to go ahead and not have too many reports and reduce the number of reports that are actually real objects. Alice, hopefully you have a question that relies to what we're talking about.
Actually, Thomas, I'm really sorry, but I raised my hand back when George was talking. Do you mind if I say something about that?
Sure.
Okay. I respect your opinion, of course.
Yeah.
But there is a petition going around in the U.S. right now for aliens.gov to take ET references off of there, because there is a large community here in the U.S. that does feel that that was detrimental to the ET UFO community.
I believe there's a form for that. I believe there is a form for that. And I'm sorry it upset some people. However, we're going to have to find out where they're at so we can go ahead and file for them a hurt feelings report.
Thomas, come on.
If their feelings were hurt so bad, let's get them a hurt feelings report. They can say who's the whiner's name, first and last, and middle initial,
my name on there,
their position,
because I personally
the date
felt
of the
offended.
report.
I did. I personally felt offended because I thought there was going to be something really interesting and substantial, and it turned out to be something that was a farce, in my opinion. So yes, put my name on that. I have hurt feelings from it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Thomas.
Not a problem.
Just know that most of the world doesn't know anything about aliens.gov.
No. I'm
Thanks,
sorry
guys.
if you had your feelings hurt, Alice. I saw it and I was
I
like,
do.
oh God,
I
he
want to
got
fill
us.
that form out myself.
I was like, oh
Thank
my
you.
God, he got us, is the way I looked at it. So
Oh yeah, I just don't see it that way. I was like really excited that there was going to be something substantial.
yeah.
I really feel bad about it. I feel bad about it for everybody that's into this community.
Which is about, less than 0.5% of the overall population. Now, there is a big interest in UFOs, granted, but the community of who are in UFO Twitter or something else, you're talking about a very small percentage of a percentage point, unfortunately.
I know when I bring up any of this out in the general public, nobody cares. They're more interested in gas prices and prices of food. Nobody really, I don't think there'd be any person outside of our community that really cares about whether it's going to be disclosed.
That's why there will be no question on the day that disclosure is recognized by the world. Because people
No
will
question
also be
about what,
interested.
Daryl?
When there is no question that there is something out there, the entire
Daryl,
world can figure that out.
I can't wait till the other members of the Five Eyes start opening up their books, going all the way back to World War I for that matter. Let's get the United Kingdom, let's get Australia, let's get France, let's get New Zealand, let's get the full AUKUS together. And heck, let's get everyone in NATO to bring out all this stuff. Why not? And all the people who are economic partners around the world. It's an opportunity for everyone now to open their books and start bringing the truth out, because I think we all deserve the truth, right?
No. Some people don't deserve the truth.
Oh my God.
It's been a long time. That's all I can say.
George is back
I don't
for
know
some
that
more.
we've ever had truth in this.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pushback. I never mentioned Trump. I said the administration, as in consecutive governments, Republic, Democrat. It doesn't really matter. They're trolling us. Considering the Five Eyes, as you literally just mentioned, Nicholas Pope, before he passed away, was saying that there was a meeting between the US, UK, and the other nation states concerning UAP, UFO. I just wanted to say, like, what you're doing, reporting the bread and butter is amazing, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank
you. I do feel that with the administration, and I mean the administration, I don't mean the current one, I don't mean the previous
That's fine.
one. I
The
mean
presidency, the executive branch, who's been covering this up for 80 years.
Yeah. We all know there's levels of secrecy above the president. We all know that there's it's a need to know. Boris Johnson, one of the prime ministers, was vetted as a prime minister and found to be lacking with his ability to pass information to the Russians and so on. So we all know that our leaders are just like stage puppets.
Hey, at least he wasn't passing it to the rent boys. The Ukrainian rent boys, let's say that.
But I just want to say, my question, like, I wrote it down on a bit of paper, was, well, how can we, it's a difficult question. I'm not expecting you directly, Thomas, to answer this. I'm just putting it as a poser to the general public. How can we trust anything coming out of the American administration, considering the hard trolling, the joke over aliens.gov?
It's the same way we feel about, you look at this in the United States, how can you look at it? I look at all the different stuff Starmer's doing, and how can we take anything from the United Kingdom at this point seriously, considering
we can't. It's a joke. It's a farce. It's a farce.
It's just, you know, if you don't want to take it seriously, then don't take it seriously. That's okay with me. It's your choice.
Real quick too, Thomas. I think we can take it serious. I think we can take the task force trying to get to the bottom of it serious. I just don't think we should have high expectations for them to be able to get to the bottom of it, because they're getting stolen.
They can't. The only person who can get to the bottom of this, literally, is the executive branch. Congress is crippled. All these programs have been purposely withheld and hidden from Congress going back to 1947, coming forward, if not longer than that. So Congress has been out of touch. They're trying to come in and get people to go ahead and play around with their games. But heck, we've lost 3 consecutive years with their wonderful UAP Disclosure Act, and they're going back for a 4th time. Maybe they'll get it passed, maybe they won't, but I don't have any hope in that getting across, because they already have the initial draft of the National Defense Authorization Act with their changes in it for fiscal year 27. And guess what? Nothing about UFOs, nothing about RO, nothing about the UAPDA has been included in it. Congress is too worried about how much money they can make, how many deals they can make, and it's Congress right now in the United States and the Senate has the lowest approval rating, down in like 20% of what people think that they're actually competent of getting things done.
Yeah,
because nobody trusts them.
No,
they're corrupt as hell, and Tim Burchett will be the first one to tell you.
But if you want to take one little act and put that on your board and say, I am not going to trust anything coming out of it, because I'm going to go ahead and focus on this one little thing of aliens.gov, go ahead. Let disclosure fly past.
Is it such a little thing? I mean, maybe I need that hurt feelings form.
I'll send it to you, and I've got a great book on how to make mountains out of molehills.
Which is something my maths teacher used to say to me. Bless you, Thomas. All right, peace out.
Thank you, sir. Came up with that one on the fly.
It was a good one.
I think one thing that some people, we can talk about amongst ourselves here a little bit. Yeah. If a guy doesn't believe in aliens, who's the president of the United States, says release everything, are you more likely to get something to slip out that's really juicy versus somebody who's really tied to the topic and understands all the intricacies? I think you're more than likely going to get something that, like Trump said, release everything. Okay, release everything. They said release everything.
Exactly. Sorry, I got my humor back, folks. I've been, been a rough day. So where were we? We've got a new document here called, Mike, this should be familiar. It's Estimate of the Situation.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, it is.
Oh my God. No, we're not talking about that idiot who does the anime, psyop anime people. No. Not even close to that. This is the original estimate of the situation coming from headquarters of the 5th Air Force from August 4th through September of 1948.
Yep. We talked about this before the show. This is a good one.
Yeah. If I get down to about here, I think, where in the hell was I at? Somewhere around here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Spheroid airborne objects sighted over Alaska on July 9th. 2 officers of the 72nd Reconnaissance fishing at Fielding Lake sighted a group of unidentified objects whose appearance and behavior were reminiscent of last year's, quote, flying disc, end quote, encounters. Weather at the time was bright and sunny with some stratocumulus clouds. The objects resembled a group of dots, grayish black in color and numbering about 20. They were plainly visible and could be seen to be either spheroid or disc-shaped. They appeared to be jockeying back and forth in their group formation, which had no particular precision, but it was described as resembling a shotgun blast pattern. The objects were estimated to be at 5,000 feet, immediately below the cloud base. Direction of flight was from northwest west-northwest to east-southeast, and the objects were definitely flying a straight course at a speed in excess of 500 miles an hour. Just before the formation was sighted, a loud roaring sound was heard, attributed at that time to a strong wind in the timber as the objects approached and passed. However, the sound sharpened into a roar, much of that of a formation of jets. No exhaust trails were visible. Subsequent checks determined that no formations of fighter aircraft were operating in the vicinity of Fielding Lake at that time. Again, reports coming in from people who are experts at looking things in the air. What are they seeing? What are we dealing with? Really quick, as I chill and turn red. DEFCON 1, Sky King Chandler. Well done, Thomas. Thank you very much for that super chat. Peggy and Steve, $5. Thank you very much. Flavio Eduardo, yes, we covered that. And Shelley Montgomery, thanks again for that wonderful super chat. But in the back, Alice has a relevant question. Alice, what say you?
Thomas, do you think you would consider doing a survey about aliens.gov here tonight and see if people think it was a slap in the face, so to speak, or okay with our crowd here tonight?
We've asked about it before. What? So you want a survey? Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Start a poll.
Is the question something along the lines of, has it affected disclosure?
And do you think it was a personal affront to the UFO community to take something like that? Did it affect, who else's feelings are hurt like mine? Is there anybody else that feels that way?
Well, I've got a better way. Aliens.gov, about illegals, not NHI. Either, haha, they got me.
That's good.
Haha, they got me. The next one is, how dare they? How dare you? I wish I could have the sound of what's her face doing it right now. And that's it. I'm done with disclosure.
Thank you, Thomas. That's really good.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see where it goes. So far, we've got 43% saying, haha, they got me, up to 44%. How dare they at 50%. Ooh. And it's flopping back and forth really quickly. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please.
All right, 1 minute.
I should be happy. This makes me have to read less.
And that's starting now.
Daryl, did I start a timer at your house too?
Yeah, we're gonna stop that real quick.
Okay, really quick. Well, we're waiting to see where the survey goes for 43 more seconds. Okay, if you're here, you haven't subscribed, do us a favor, friends. Hit a subscribe. We just hit 18,100 subs. Thank you, everybody, last night who subscribed. And we are on a roll. Daily shows. It's a little stressful, as you can tell. Yeah, boy, a lot of interesting stuff that I can't talk about. But yeah,
I got a question.
If you haven't subscribed yet, do us a favor and subscribe. If you haven't given us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, go ahead. Tell us in your notes. Roast me for going ahead and getting a little flustered under the collar when people are saying, how dare they? They screwed disclosure for me. But, you know, I'm happy to say this, but 52% of our audience right now is saying, haha, they got me. Meaning they got a sense of humor. They got me as well. How dare they at 40%? And 7% of our audience saying, that's it, I'm done with disclosure.
Yeah, those three people are full of shit. Because they're here.
Now, but look, it's 48% to 53. That's pretty damn close.
52 to 41 or 52 to 40%, give or take. That's still significant.
When you say I'm done with disclosure.
That's a real win where we don't have to go into a runoff.
No, but I'm saying if you add up how dare they and I'm done, that's very close to 50% of your audience feels that it was not appropriate.
Well, I wanted to say something about this because you guys keep bringing up your points, but here's the way I look at it. I wonder what two things. I wonder what website got more views, because according to Trump, those files, the UFO dump was getting like what, 1 billion hits or something like that. And people are going nuts. I wonder how many the aliens.gov got. And what I think they did was they took such an important sensationalized subject like UFOs and used that to their advantage so that people would be interested enough to go to aliens.gov, which isn't that big of a deal. No one cares about it.
Okay, really quick, I'm going to do this. Talks amongst yourselves. I'm verklempt. I need some more national security based on how the show's been going. I'll be right, folks. You know, Mike, Daryl, talk about this for a second.
I think I put the 8% of people who, I put those in the haha, they got me, because I think that's a joke. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. So I hate to tell you that, Alice, but I think it's more like 60-40.
Right.
I don't know. We'd have to do a survey to see what they really think.
Oh my God, a survey for the survey.
Come on. For 8 people, it might be worth it.
I agree with you, Daryl. It's 60-40.
Yeah.
I respectfully disagree, gentlemen.
Well,
so I bet it's closer than you guys thought, though. I bet you thought most of the people here would be thinking that this is okay, just because they're here at this show.
I don't know about that, Alice. I don't think it's about no. I don't think it's about that's okay. It's you know, people are going to feel about it the way that they do just about everything else that comes out of the government. Love it, hate it. It's all up to the individual. So we all have our opinions on it. But last time I checked, opinions are like assholes. Everyone
You're either
has
talking
one.
out one or out of the other.
But didn't we all here think that this was going to be an exciting new?
Yeah, but when war.gov/UFOs came out, it kind of told us where all the alien stuff is going to, right? We just forgot about aliens.gov because we got the new site that had over 1 billion hits so far. It's number one and it's trending number one.
It's torrential.
Yeah. You know, when it's 81 degrees out and they have the windows closed, it's not a good idea to wear flannel.
No.
So how did the survey end? Did it end?
Well, we can end it right now. I love where the results went with 109 votes in. Results are, let's see if I can find this. Why did I screw up that? Let's get to it. Video full Thomas and guest. There we go with 109 votes in. I'm going to end this poll. Results are 53% of the audience said, haha, they got me. 39% said, how dare they? And 7% said, I'm done with disclosure.
Yeah, I agree with Daryl. That 7% is bullshit.
Yeah, those people
they wouldn't be
joking
here.
around.
It still means a high percentage, 40% of your audience feels that they were duped.
Yeah, but are you happy with all the other information that's coming out, Alice?
Honestly,
would you let that spoil disclosure for you?
Honestly, I think that they're giving us stuff that really isn't with like the redactions and with the little dots that are flying. It's very hard to call that a big disclosure, in my opinion.
Okay, they have tens of thousands of videos that they need to bring out, and there's tens of millions of documents like the ones we're covering that they need to bring out. They've got to start somewhere, right? And if you're going to start with it, you're going to start with a drip, drip, drip of information that's not too controversial, because if you bring it all at once, people think, you know, everyone's going to freak out.
I can respect that, but I would like to see more. You asked what I thought about it, and that's just, I think it's not enough at this point.
Yeah.
There could be a little more substance to it.
Well, don't we all think that? We got freaking disclosure. So. We got disclosure dots. Who wanted more than disclosure dots?
We all think that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for the survey, Thomas. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't mean.
Thanks for your opinion.
No, try to be nice. Granted, I did bring up the hurt feelings report before as a joke.
We do
have it here for just in case situation. We have to bring it up again.
We got a little more than dots. We got the little SpongeBob SquarePants doing a racetrack.
The one that was going back and forth and flipping back and forth. It was going, and clearly it wasn't.
I'm still waiting for somebody to tackle that one. And then you got the flying saucer dipping in out of the clouds.
Yeah,
I mean, it's more than dots.
Hey, quick, Alice, I got one question. Hope it's not too personal. Who did you vote for in the last election? Just wondering.
I didn't vote last election.
No one votes in the UK.
Exactly. All right, Syrup, you had your hand up. Go ahead. And then we got Andy and then George again.
Oh, I apologize. I forgot to put it down from my last comment.
Okay. Andy, what's up?
Howdy, mate. I'm on my break. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm just stuffing my face with food while I'm talking to you. I do apologize. I think we need to remember, where are all the documents coming out from?
From the Trump, from the president himself with his new Pursuit program.
No. What website?
War.gov/UFOs.
There we are. I think we need to remember we're getting caught up in this aliens, whatever it is. I think it's hilarious, but that's my weird and warped sense of humor. What we need to be focusing on is not that one. It's actually on the war.gov UFO. So, what are we on now? We're on, here in the UK, we're on Wednesday. So, potentially, we've got more documents possibly coming out on Friday. I think we wait and find out what happens then. We wait and find out if we actually have more documents released on that website, on the war.gov UFOs one.
Yeah.
And then we can put it all behind us and think, oh, actually, yeah, they skunked us, but it was funny. And it was funny.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't think we need to be getting too butthurt over it, personally. Yeah, we'll find out when, you know, it looks like they release the documents within a fortnight of each other. So again, as I've said, the next lot of documents will hopefully come out on Friday.
Yeah. That's okay, Andy. I've got a tanker full of Vagisil on order, and it should be delivered in the next day or so.
Yeah. So yeah, I you know, everybody's getting that, you know, applying for their hurt feelings form. Yeah, I don't think we need to be worrying too much about it at the moment.
Yeah. All right, and our next one. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. Looks like George has got his hand his back up again, or is that from before?
No, it's fine. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to the 39% who said, how dare they? I think, you know, we need to keep the faith here and like to riff off what Andy was saying there as a fellow countryman. Although my feelings are a little bit hurt that the administration trolled us, which they did do. Everybody agrees with that. I think we need to focus on the data that's coming out and keep our studiousness and our attention on each file case by case, as Thomas and other channels are doing. And I think whilst we may feel our feelings are hurt that the administration or the consecutive administrations, not any particular one, would do this to us, we already know from Blue Book that they would do this. We already know from Project Grudge they would do this. We already know from Eric Burleson and Tim Burchett that they're going to release false information amongst those files. We already know this is coming down the pipeline. So expect more aliens.gov, expect more trolling from politicized information, just to riff off what Syrup was saying, that any topic, no matter how small, if it gets big enough audience, is going to be politicized. All right.
Like in any government.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the United Kingdom where they prevent the press
mind.
from talking about stuff and they put on moratoriums so the press can't talk about different things, where there is no free press, there is no free speech. If you say some things, you'll have the people come to your house and they will pull you out and lock you up. They've had more people go into jail for crimes on social media for hurting people's feelings with this hurt feelings report than they actually have the people who have been doing the rapes and everything else been going on in that place for the longest time.
Maybe the UAP topic is one of the last bastions of free speech globally. Try that. All right, P.
Yeah. All right. I think I handled that good. Oh, and by the way, if you've subscribed, double check your bell. Make sure you're set up for all notifications. I usually will do a title card, try my damnedest to get a title card up there at least 2 hours before we start the show. So hopefully YouTube should go ahead and send out all their notifications, everybody. Let you know we've got a show tonight. All right. I think we can put all the aliens.gov stuff behind us. please? Are we good?
Yes. Yeah, we're good, Thomas.
Every time we get in and talk about it, we lose 20, 30 people. They run away. Oh, I love you, audience. Thank you for coming out tonight. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here, right, Mike?
That's right. You got it.
Yeah.
So we're happy you joined, and we're going to continue with the show.
So in our next document, it is from the 6th Air Division, history of the 6th Air Division from 1952. That's for the doggies. Mm-hmm. Got a box here from Amazon for the puppies. Yes, I keep a steak knife on my desk for such an emergency. They love these rawhide bones, although Luke doesn't. The dogs go crazy for it. I ordered 10 yesterday. I'll get it later on. All right, let's get back to the 6th Air Division, 1952. I need to go to pages 9 through 11 because apparently Grok. You know, I broke Grok today, Mike.
Did you
I was
really?
giving all these documents. I gave it a last one, and it came back, and it's like was searching through it for like 10, 15 minutes. Actually, about 10 minutes. It came back and said, your conversation is too long. Start a new conversation.
Oh, fuck. I hate when it does that.
Some of these PDFs are really wrong. So what we're talking about is the history of the 6th Air Division from MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. Oh, would you look at that? It's on my July 1st, my birthday.
Yes, it is.
1952. I'm not sure. Okay, July 1st through 31st, 1952. And according to my notes here from the AI, it said go to pages 9 through 11 and then 13.
Let's see what's on those pages.
Chapter 3.
There we go.
The aircraft crashes, the 3 aircraft crashes during July brought an end to the flying safety records, which, is this really? See if this is the one. It was not. Talking about the bodies of 3 men. This can't be the right pages. It says pages, which one again? 9?
9 to 11 and 13.
We're talking about crashes took place, occurred the B-47 Stratobomber, resulting in the death of 7 officers and 2 children. First, blah, 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 40 deep. I think we got grokked on this one.
Maybe.
So it's said again, 9 through 11. Then let me try page 13. Unless it's the actual in the refrigerator. Here we go. It's actually the page number of the PDF, not the actual page numbers. Grok changed back and forth. Reports of flying saucers, and the strange crews, which are believed to man the objects, none of which have been known to have landed on the Earth, continue to be the cause of unexpected flights by Air Force personnel. Even pilots of division units have been airborne in the pursuit of unidentified flying objects. This one's good. Major Frederick G. Terrell of the 364th Bomb Squadron of the 305th Bomb Wing took off early on 22nd July at 1955 hours in plane number 7273 with Captain Wallace G. Hines Jr. flying as co-pilot for the operation of a normal proficiency flight. At 22:45, which is at 10:45 p.m.
Yes.
The MacDill Tower reported unidentified flying objects at high altitude and requested an investigation. Now, this is what we're talking about, Mike. This is the kind of information that could be coming from aircraft control towers to warn or to give information to our pilots in the sky, you know, using our radar that's not filtered, and they can see stuff, say, hey, buddy, you've got something coming in at 3 o'clock. Keep an eye on it. Keep your pace, but heads up. So we're missing that in today's. We're missing that safety meeting that's required, that safety communication, the extra eyes that are on the ground. They can look out there and find what's going on and warn the pilots in the sky. More importantly, not really warn them, give them an idea what they're seeing. So Major Terrell climbed at 20,000 feet, circling the MacDill area for an hour and a half when an object was sighted approximately 20,000 feet above his aircraft, flying at high speed. Under existing directives, the report of the object was filed with the AOD, and the object itself was tracked at 41,000 feet at approximately 400 knots an hour. What it has not been determined, what it was has not been determined. Since it was not a normal operation for aircraft of the division to do anything other than attempt to track high-altitude objects, no official cognizance is taken of the popular notion of flying saucers. The saucers still bear a close relation to the radio hoax of several years ago by Orson Welles, which has come to be known as invaders from Mars. Popular credulity has apparently provided a motivation for the continuance of reports of flying saucers, although there has not been anything concrete or conclusive to substantiate the theory that flying saucers from some other planet, probably Venus, are being aimed at Earth or at MacDill Air Force Base. So here we've got a reporting. They put the planes out there. They saw the stuff. They sent them up there to see everything. And what do they end it with, Mike? Oh, it's nothing. They're confused by, a radio program from years ago.
Yeah, we got the same shit during the drone flap, if you remember.
Yep.
Admiral John Kirby, the spokesman for the Pentagon. He was telling the public that they're imagining it. Nothing to see here, folks. Move on.
Yeah.
And we called them out for that back then. So nothing has changed, really.
Does it ever?
To now.
Does it ever, Mike?
No.
It never changes.
No.
So this is 9 through 11. And then page 13.
All right.
One more doc here. On July 27th, there were more reports of unidentified objects seen in the sky in the vicinity of Tampa. One was even reported by a usually reliable newspaper, the St. Petersburg Times. St. Pete Times, let's call it that. Movement orders were received during the July, placing the 307th Bomb Wing tactical element on TDY to FEAP, whatever the hell that means. This was to take effect upon notification by headquarters. 2nd Air Force that records from MacDill had been received by the combat element, and that the overseas unit had assumed responsibility for its own reports. Subsequently, general orders were prepared attaching a 307th Air Base group to the 809th Air Base group for all purposes. This action eliminates the rear echelon of the 307th Bomb Wing, although there will be sufficient personnel slots remaining to continue the process of photostatic records. So, yeah, more sightings of UFOs in the records. Although this one, they seem to have gotten the memo, Mike, to go ahead and start, disqualifying the sightings that have been coming out.
Right. And this is all from the Air Force.
Right.
That claims to have no knowledge of any of these objects.
All right. So I need to go back to my search history here on X, because this one says all, which means there's a ton of shit on here, and I need to go find this document. I was written up on 178th. Let me get back to Grok here. Bastard. I need to go to this one. I need to look for 178. Come on, you can do it. Find 178. Where is it? All right. UFO related finding. I have to go to page 21 apparently. 21. Okay, in October 1948, the 178th hit the pages of nearly every daily newspaper in the country. Unfortunately, the publicity brought a deluge of high-ranking Air Force people down on the squadron, and questions and investigations swirled through the area for days afterwards. The occasion was the report of a flying saucer spotted over Fargo by a 178th pilot, Lieutenant George Gorman. Oh, Mike, he paid the price on this one.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He let too many people know what was going on, and the press got there. You know, he got freaking in trouble.
Yeah. He was cleaning toilets in Alaska after that.
Oh, yeah. Or you know what? He was cleaning the inside of a fuel tank on a jet or on a fighter with a freaking toothbrush.
Yeah.
The flying saucer investigations were at high pitch in the press during this period, and Gorman's story was gobbled up by the country's news services. When the report reached Wright-Patterson and Air Force Experimental Center, several plane loads of Army investigators in various fields who were assigned to trace down saucer reports left Fargo immediately. Gorman, 2 airport tower operators who had reportedly watched his aerial chase of the mysterious object, and other 178th personnel in key posts were interviewed extensively. The airplanes and squadron's equipment was also carefully checked with Geiger counters, but apparently nothing turned up. Zombie Wolf, your hand is up. Got a color key in here. Color correction. Right one. Zombie Wolf, are you there? Going once?
Oh, sorry. Has anyone heard of Admiral Byrd?
Yeah, we can talk about that later. I'd like to keep this relevant to the conversation we've got going on.
Okay, sweet.
Thank you. Appreciate that idea. Yes, I've learned Adderall helps. Don't go after something shining all the time. So, the investigators left amid heartfelt sighs from the exhausted 178th officers, but the story didn't die. In fact, at this time, 3.5 years later, the saucer controversy is still raging, and the Gorman incident is taken out and rehashed in company with other reports in an occasional publication or radio programs. The winter of 48-49 was particularly a bad one for North Dakota. High winds coupled with bitter cold and heavy snow, isolated thunderstorms of farms and ranches in the northwestern part of the state. Supplies of coal and food and livestock were dwindling fast, and it was possible to bring in many rural areas on the road. Snow plows worked furiously, but roads would drift and shut down almost before the plow had gone past that. So that just gives us an idea, Mike. There definitely was something going on.
Right. We knew that.
They've already smelled it.
Yep.
So. It's crack, man. It's dog crack. All right, so we've got this one done. This is the 0428. Oh, where is it? 04. Pressing to get to over here. 0420. It's the 178th. Right, okay. Get this one, get rid of it. All right. There's 140. This is a really long report. I broke rock on this one. But let's get to it. You guys having a fun time? You enjoying it? I hope so. We're trying.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation. It ain't boring.
You know, I'll admit, the whole thing saying we need to throw out disclosure because they did the play on aliens.gov really just rubbed me wrong. And not much
we covered it, and it was addressed, and
right
now we're moving on with the show.
Now we're on the next one, the 20th Air Division. I need to get to page 146. This one, you know, when Lou Elizondo talks about that there's tens of millions of records, Mike?
Yeah.
One of these documents is a record.
Yeah, that's right.
So page 146. 8. Here we go. Where this takes us. Hopefully there's something here. Page 67, right? There's no page number on it. And it said, not showing. What I put as notes in here, let me look for 20th. It's not in this one. 20th, here we go. Okay, this is page 147, internal page 167. Immediately follows the full text recorded on here. Flying saucers, question mark. I wish I could find it in here, but it's not. It says it's going to page 67, but it's not. With the space age upon us, satellites in orbit, and talk of travel to the moon being spoken in serious tones by serious men, spaceships, flying saucers, and other UFOs crossing the skies, in particular division in the area of the responsibility, have earned themselves at least consideration, time, and responsible people to evaluate all reports concerning them. In the period covered, over 20 reports of this type found their way into the desk of the Division of Air Intelligence Officers. These reports were made by people in all walks of lives, from housewives to students, singly and in groups. They were seen by the naked eye and in various aids such as telescopes and binoculars. All reports were given serious consideration and evaluation. Some were identified as natural phenomena, and others bring this up here so you can see it. Future reference, none were observed. The section is very short, one paragraph, and appears to be a brief administrative historical note rather than analysis of specific cases. It acknowledges that the 20th Air Division Defense, responsible for air defense in the central United States, with sites in Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, Illinois, Oklahoma, Iowa, and Nebraska, received and formally evaluated more than 20 UFO reports between July 1st and December 31st, 1957. Reports came from civilians, not military personnel. In the summary, evaluation was handled by the Division Air Intelligence Officer. Standard language of the area, some explained as natural phenomena, others retained for reference, none were dismissed. No cases detailed radar correlations, intercepted scrambles tied to these reports, or the shape, descriptions of orbs, spheres, etc. are provided. So it sounds like, you know, there's a lot of information that came out that goes to this particular area. But Mike, we're seeing something here where they're going and just discounting the government. Let me let you talk about this for a second, and I'll be right back. I have to hit the library really quick.
That's not a problem. This is nothing new, though. I mean, the government has been doing this and lying to the American public about what they truly know for decades, and they're still doing it to this day. That's the worst part about this. We know what they did, we know why they're doing it, and we know how long they've been doing it for, but the really fucked up part to this is the fact that they're still doing it to this very day, and nothing has really changed. What do you think about that, Daryl?
Sorry, man. I was watching a bot, I think, posting in our chat on YouTube. Reverend Wolf just keeps spouting things. Anyway,
Reverend or Zombie Wolf?
No, Reverend Wolf VIP. Anyway, I'm just checking. Just
bounce
watching.
it. Just bounce it. If it's up to no good, just get rid of it down.
It's not really any good. It's just somebody just keeps throwing out a comment but not responding to anybody asking questions.
If they're spamming, just bounce them out.
I'm talking truth because I've read all the military documents and watched all the same things you have, and that's just the kind of stuff he keeps putting out there.
Okay. So, I mean, it's with these documents coming out of the Air Force of all places, it shows us that they have been doing this shit the entire time. And the part that really is upsetting about it is the fact that they still continue to do it and nothing has changed from then to now.
Yeah. Same old, same story, different day, right?
Yeah, but you would think that after all that time, that the public is now more aware of this subject and these objects and what's going on. And the fact that they still use the very same playbook they did from all the way back then, and nothing really has changed, it's disappointing, for lack of a better word.
Well, but we have an aliens.gov site. Oh, wait, never mind. I take.
Oh, no, here we go again. Yeah, no, we don't want to go there. Right. So, yeah, I mean, look, it seems like until something major changes, we're going to get the same old shit out of the same old people in the government like we always have. But if the current administration executes an executive order on disclosure and declassifies these documents, the government isn't going to be able to keep this a secret and keep it as well hidden as they have up until now. Now, I understand that the president wrote an executive order on AI today, but nothing on disclosure. So he likes to write a lot of executive orders on a regular basis.
But not for UFOs, Mike.
I've noticed, Thomas. I just don't know why that is, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, I would have, let me just get back into something here where I can talk about this. Mike, I think what we're dealing with is those two magic words, national security. He's been advised by different people, don't go ahead and put it through these channels. It's going to cause a lot of problems, right?
Right. Yeah. No, listen, he's got people who were leaving his administration. The most recent one was Tulsi Gabbard. So maybe he just doesn't want to rock the boat and cause a problem that isn't there. You know, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So maybe he's looking at it like that. I don't know. It's just, a guess at this point. Yeah. But I think you and I have been saying this to the public all this time. If he just writes that executive order, declassifies these documents, and the public has the right to see it, I think that would just cut through all the bullshit once and for all. And look, we've also talked about his ego, and he wants to be immortal and go into history books. Well, Mike, this would be the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to go down in history, say this is the guy who brought the truth about aliens out, right?
Oh, we're not alone on this planet? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
The only sitting president to ever do that in the 250th anniversary of our country, and that's an accomplishment.
Right.
I don't know why somebody isn't whispering in his ear and telling him, do it.
Right.
It's right there. Sign the goddamn document. You'll go down in history.
That works well sometimes.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
That's what they used to bait him, saying, you know what, if Obama brought out the truth, said aliens are real, what are you going to do, Trump? Well, Obama went and said something that's classified as national security, but you know what? I'm going to do something, and I'm going to go ahead and declassify this information so we don't need to send him to jail. It's basically what we got.
Right. But he hasn't declassified anything yet.
Nothing.
We haven't gotten the executive order, right? Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. I have a feeling it's also because this subject has a lot of stigma still attached to it.
And, he's trying to keep his base together. So not everybody in the public is really an advocate for this subject. So maybe he's playing it very close to the vest.
We need an executive order. We need an executive memo. They said we didn't get the executive order, but we're going to, who was it? Burleson said we're going to get the executive memo, and there's going to be, big penalties associated with it. Well, show it to us. What the fuck? Get it drafted. Otherwise, it's just more bullshit for people to go ahead and listen to.
Right. And we've always been pushing back against feeding the audience bullshit, especially
because
you know
what happens if you feed the audience bullshit too much. You need to send them to the doctor, and you need to ask.
Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals.
Yeah.
You have to get those damn turtles in there.
Damn turtles in there again.
Exactly.
Enjoy, my friends. Yeah, we want to laugh. I don't want to get all angry and turning all red and like I'm a freaking cartoon character from a 1950s, Tom and Jerry that I absolutely hate. I like the 40s and 30s much better.
Yeah, listen, we're serious about not being serious, so you got to laugh. Yeah, I agree.
I think the thing that we can look forward to, hopefully look forward to, are these drops. And that with each drop, there is more significant information. If there isn't more significant information, then I would probably be a negative Nancy about the whole thing. But, I'm willing to wait a few more weeks because it's been, 47 years since we've had any,
Oh, we've got someone who's throwing us a super chat out there saying, oh, God, it sounds like work. It sounds like work. What is he saying again? Let's get to it. The UAP offshore wind turbine footage. Fact check the height of those turbines. Also, if the 180-degree turns were caused by wind direction changes, the turbine should have shown it. Yeah, we looked at everything back at that time. I don't have the videos indexed to go for it. It's an interesting point. But don't forget, there's two different videos. There's one of the video of the turbines where it's actually really zoomed in, but then there's a second video they put out where it's really zoomed out. Now, we saw the thing just kind of going and darting, but realistically speaking, Daryl, we're talking about a disclosure dot here. We don't have the high-res video. We're missing all the telematics to say what's happening on the screen, so we could go ahead and say we could dig into it, but I'm looking forward to the next file drop. Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, and you mentioned national security a few times in there, so we were all playing along, but you weren't.
Yeah, this Red Bull can is more than dead. And this Izzy can is more than, thank God we got Izzy. I could go ahead and use that instead of additional Red Bull way too late at night. All right. So unidentified. Where is Nick tonight? Nick, are you in the back? Where in the heck is he?
Nick.
He's not here. All right. Zombie Wolf has his hand up. And then, oh my God, it's that fire elf. He's got the collar on again. I get you. Or the bowl. Zombie Wolf. No, he's got his glasses on. Zombie Wolf going once. Going twice. Thank you, Zombie Wolf, for having your hand up. Sapphire Elf, you are next, my friend. What say you? We missed you. How you doing today?
Hello. Yes, good. I was just going to say that thing that's waving in and out of those big propeller blades.
Yeah.
It's just one of those laser owls with a plasma balloon. It grips it by the husk.
Okay, so you say it's a plasma balloon.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them plasma orbs, but it's laser owls that are the ones that fly them around. You know how everyone says owls are grey aliens? Laser owls and plasma orbs, dude. I'm telling you.
It's a magic word.
What the hell is even that?
Come on, one, 99 lift balloons. Anytime anyone brings up a balloon on this show these days, Daryl, we have to play 99 lift balloons.
Yeah.
The original.
An homage.
Yeah. A great point. Let's get back to this last report here before we bury ourselves. All right. So the next one was we're getting unidentified flying objects sighted in the northern area of Japan. Wow. Japan. Interesting. So now I need to go on to PDF page 41. See if it gets it right. There we go. Come on. Scroll it. There we go. Well, let's go to the page before. Requirements coming down to it. We get into it. It became necessary to recall the pilots and repeat the interrogation to obtain additional information requested at the late hour. This confusion could have been avoided if the operations order had included the reports required. The wing intelligence officer called headquarters. I just saw something here. Division of various late requests. Supposed to be on page 41. All right. The sighting of an unidentified objects on the night of 29th December brought about hurried and tedious hours of preparation of required flying object reports and Air Force Forms 112. At the end of the month, the Forms 112 were in process of final typing for forwarding to the interested agencies. A series of photographs portraying the activities of the section and the facilities presently utilized by the Wing Intelligence Section were assembled. So they saw stuff, they took pictures, but there's nothing else that's coming out of it, except that they saw UFOs in Japan, which apparently is a hotspot. Now, Form 112 is a standard USAF form used at the time for identified flying objects routed through the intelligence channels, ultimately towards ATIC or ATIC or Project Blue Book pathways. This created a significant last-minute administrative work, and nothing further in this report is discussed. So on that one, now get back to the last document. I think we just did the 27th. Let me go to the front of that, put a double X on that. So we're going to get to the 30th Air Division is the next one. You see where I can go to my Grok stuff, and here it is. And I want to look for 30th. All right. So this is a 85-page history of the 30th Air Command Division, dated December 1951, covering the Midwest, Selfridge Air Force Base, and surrounding areas. This document contains dedicated section on unusual flying objects. UFOs are calling them unusual instead of unidentified, probably trying to go ahead, reduce the sigma. With multiple specific reports from late 1951, it appears that in context, the division was developing a formal, where's that? Standard operating procedure for intelligent reporting procedure, likely intelligence reporting, to standardize reporting of unusual radar objects, unusual flying objects, sabotage, and simulated or actual hostile aircraft. So already in 1951, they don't want to call them unidentified flying objects. Now they're calling them unusual flying objects or unusual radar objects, trying to get away from the terminology that's been used. The section explicitly details at least 5 distinct UFO incidents during the quarter. Here are the excerpts from the summaries. 1, Battle Creek, Michigan. Isn't that a place where Kellogg's is at, where you used to go ahead and send all of your box tops to?
That is correct. I've been there. I had a tour done by Tony the Tiger.
There you go. Was he wearing the outfit?
He was.
Wow. One unusual flying object was reported to have been observed in the vicinity of Battle Creek, Michigan. Further investigation by the office revealed that the observer, a civilian pilot of 14 years flying experience, encountered a disc-like, highly polished flying object which eluded head-on with the aircraft at an extremely high rate of speed. Estimated altitude was approximately 3,000 feet. 1,000 feet below the observer's aircraft. The observer is a very stable individual. Check available sources of both civil and military indicated to no known aircraft in the vicinity. A report of the incident was forwarded to multiple agencies. 2. Lower Michigan area. Multiple observations. Lower Michigan, upper northern Indiana, Daryl. This is your territory. During November, several flying objects were observed. One was seen in the lower Michigan area between 24/2200Z and 25/2200Z by 6 observers from 5 different points. The object in all cases was observed at speeds as fast or faster than jet aircraft. It was observed, described variously as round, football-shaped, egg-shaped, and bullet-shaped. Its reported color was variously described as light white, white, grayish white, and brilliant bluish white. The next one, incident 3 that happened, near Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I say it Wisconsin because there's that. If you live there, you know what I mean. The second flying object was observed at 2020 by Capital Airlines pilot 28 miles due east of Milwaukee. It was described as a ball of fire, orange in color, and had a blue exhaust like flame behind it. A second Capital Airlines pilot observed the same object, although it was approximately 75 miles south of the first observer. Reports of each incident were prepared and forwarded to the ADC and ADC through technical intelligence channels. Remember, back at that time, if pilots saw something and they didn't report it, they could be prosecuted by the Espionage Act at that time. So next one, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Civilian guard at duty at Oak Ridge, Tennessee reported sightings and an airborne object on December 7th, 1951 at 3:15 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Traveling at a constant speed equivalent to conventional aircraft, the object was described as square, approximately 20 feet wide, gray, white in color with no markings. The observer, age 40, described it as honest and conscious. 2 F-47s were unsuccessful in an attempt of interception. Let's go on next to Hamden, Ohio, on December 22nd, 1951. Another report of unusual flying objects came in from Mr. Charles in Houston in Hamden, Ohio. Mr. Houston reported observing a large round object for nearly 3 hours on the morning of December 22nd, 1951. Telephone conversation with Mr. Houston produced names of corroborating witnesses and additional details. A report was made to EID. Now, these reports are clustered in Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois area, Ohio, with one outlier at the sensitive Oak Ridge site. Now, isn't Oak Ridge the site that, Mike, where Don Kirkpatrick now works as a CTO? Yeah, Thomas, exactly.
Thomas, you got it completely correct.
Descriptions vary. Disc-like polished ball of fire with blue exhaust, square large round light. At least one case prompted an active fighter intercept attempt in F-47s from Oak Ridge. Reports were routed through technical intelligence channels and higher headquarters. The division was actively working on standardized reporting procedures for these phenomena during this period. Wait a minute, Daryl. The government, the Air Force, and everyone is saying, we're now working on standardized reporting, and we haven't figured it out yet for everyone so we could get the same information across. My God, man, they're working on this back in the 50s. Yeah. How was it from 1957 until 2026? They still haven't been able to come up with a standardized reporting format.
The bureaucracy. The swamp, if you will, in the military and all the DNI and its associated agencies.
Yeah. Bullshit artists, in other words.
I mean, I don't want you to pull up anybody's picture here, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't have her picture up right now, unfortunately. Actually, you know what I do? If I could go to, which screen is this one? And I can go to, no, it's not that one.
Tell your doctor about lightheadedness.
Not that one. Hold on. Nope. Where's it at? Oh, Susan Goff, you mean?
Oh, yeah. No, they're Mike's girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. This document has more numerous and detailed UFO references than any of the other previous two have shared. So there we go. They'll eat their dinner. Don't worry. Luke just found out about the cookies that I ordered for the dogs. They'll eat their dinner. They're just crunching on that. Trust me. Oh my God! I just got to look.
They're not actual rawhide, right?
The dogs even took the cookies in their mouth and they dropped them on the floor. Whoops.
They're not rawhide, though. You said they were rawhide. They're not rawhide, right?
Yeah, they are.
Rawhide, I thought, was like the worst thing you can give your dog.
They love these things. What am I going to do?
Oh, my God. Luke's right.
The dogs running upstairs, all of them. They know I got them in trouble.
That's right.
Gotta have fun with
your crack, your dog crack.
Oh, God. On that note, what an interesting show tonight, my friend. Yeah, there's a lot more documents we haven't gotten through. There's like 30 of them, and there's a lot of details in there. Gotta have fun with it. Wow. Thank God it happened. It actually gives us more stuff to talk about tomorrow, and hopefully we won't have to bring out that hurt feelings report again.
Yeah. Or anything about the UFO
aliens.gov. My God, that
let's just we got hit. Let's move on.
I know. They got me unexpected and I acted out inappropriately, but that's okay. We deal with stuff. You got to have fun with it, right, Daryl?
Every disclosure tonight, you got to have fun with it.
Oh, God, yeah. All right. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for coming out for this episode of Disclosure tonight. More importantly, I want to thank some people who gave us some super chats. Sorry about the music not being played. I don't want to load the application and kill OBS at this point. Who am I talking about? Let's thank Shelley Montgomery, Flavio Eduardo, Peggy and Steve, DEFCON 1 Guy King Chandler, Eric Woodhouse. Thank you very much. Daryl is here. Appreciate it. Belizo Foz, thank you very much. And thank you everybody for the wonderful super chats and everything. It's been a great evening. We covered a lot of stuff. We got more stuff to cover tomorrow. My goodness, Daryl, what could he ask for?
Right now would be great.
Well, my friends, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe for everybody. And hopefully, yes, we'll be back and see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.